What is going on, my fellow garbage men? It is I, the Biotrash Man here, and what you are watching is some Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 gameplay. And what I want to talk to you about today has nothing, absolutely nothing to do at all with this gameplay. This is all about the commentary. The gameplay is just a nice background, and I hope you enjoy. What I want to talk about today is simply, well, you can probably tell from the title, I want to talk about Southern Pride. That's right. Many of you from southern areas know what I'm talking about. Many of you from the north might know what I'm talking about, but if not, let me elaborate. Now, if you don't know, in the south, it's a thing to be proud of. If you're like, I am from the south, I say y'all, you'ins, yonder, yain't, all that kind of stuff. It's something to be very proud of. Something you can be like, yeah, look how true I am to Southern culture, and I'm so great. And I've kind of always grown up in the South. I am from the South, but if you guys don't know my story, I was born in Florida. Okay, Florida. For all you Floridians out there, Florida. Florida's reverse. The more north you go, the more south it gets. I grew up in southern Florida, near the Gulf area, and I lived there till I was about 10 years old, and then I moved to Missouri. And let me elaborate on that. It's southern Missouri. Now, for those of you who aren't from Missouri or don't know much about it, the state's kind of split in half. The northern areas like Kansas City and St. Louis, the places you probably heard of, those are northern Missouri. Northern Missouri is very northern. In fact, it's more north than south. When you go to southern Missouri is completely south. In fact, this all kind of started with the Civil War. If you don't know, during the Civil War, Missouri was split down the middle between a war between the North and South. That was kind of the front line, was the border or splitting of Missouri. Missouri had a civil war within the Civil War, if that sounds correct. So we kind of had that. So there's kind of a big culture change between when you cross from one part to the next. But growing up, I've always seen on these things on the Facebook and the internet. Oh, I'm proud to be Southern. We say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, and we all talking about this stuff and yonder. Okay, let me tell you, if you know what yonder is, how long that is, you are from the South. Okay, that's basically how I can put it. And I'm not a real Southern pride kind of guy, cause you know, like I said, I'm from Southern Florida. That's more north than it is south. And the big thing about it is the fact that I always have been thinking, is there such a thing as Northern pride? Or Northerners like I'm a Northerner. I like the cold. I like wearing big jackets during the winter, all this stuff. So I'm like, I'm gonna look into this, and if I find anything interesting, I'll do a commentary on it. Because this isn't something I really, see much of. So I go on Google and I look up Northern Pride. What pops up is a ton. Well, Northern Pride, a newsletter, magazine, paper thing. I don't really know what it was, but it wasn't what I was looking for. So then I look up Being Northern because I know there's a huge Facebook thing called Being Southern. So I look at Being Northern, and it was just a bunch of English things. I guess in England, it's being Northern is kind of like being Southern in the United States. And after, I looked for about, an hour or two, and I couldn't find anything. There was absolutely nothing on the subject of Northern Pride. And it just, I was thinking about it. It's weird. I never hear anyone say, oh, most of my family is from northern states. I never hear any of my northern family be like, I'm from the north. I like being north. I like the cold, or I like, what north has. Because northern culture, I mean, a lot of people say, oh, it's so, different from southern, but when you look at it, it's not. A lot of Southerners, and especially diehard hillbilly and rednecks. There is a difference, by the way, for those of you who don't know. They always like to pretend they're different, but you know, there's not that big of a difference between the North and South. So I've been just wondering, why is there such a patriotic thing about being Southern, but not about being Northern? You know, because North has mud. They go mudding. They husk corn. They're farmers. They drive tractors. You know, they have country music. It just being Southern has like this diagram of that. If you're from the South, you are instantly country. But you know, I there's Atlanta, Georgia. That's South. That is really South, but not country. Huge difference. And while there is some differences, like in Southern, we have sweet iced tea, which is the greatest idea ever. And if any of you ever doubt sweet iced tea, you are horribly mistaken. It's amazing. But you know, that's just something that's just Southern. It's not very Northern in nature. So, you know, I've been trying to think about what it was, and the more and more I thought about it, the more and more I just went back to the Civil War. And for those of you who just are international, which if you're watching this, wow, I'm surprised I've got international people watching. But you know, America had a civil war divided between North and South, and so I guess just a lot of people from the South still identify with the idea of a just Southern Union. You know, where many Northern people view themselves as Americans, many Southerns, which are extremely patriotic, you know, the Southerners. But it's just kind of, and I know I'm stereotyping a lot in this video, but it's just kind of a, you know, a thing. But a lot of Southerners would kind of, you know, identify with the Confederacy, you know, and the ideals of independent statehood more than they would, say, Northern Pride. Sorry about that, I dropped something. But they don't really, you know, talk much about, you know, Americans during, after, or before the Civil War. It's just, you know, it was about your state, and that was kind of passed down from generation to generation. When the states united and they were crushed by the North, I don't see. I'm not a history professor, and I don't really. I'm not a true Southerner. I like to call myself. You know, I'm from the South, but I can't. I'm not really from the South. That's the thing. It's really hard for me, so I'm kind of looking at it from an outside perspective, and just what I've always been wondering is why is there this huge Southern pride thing? I mean, it's completely the same from the North. And I've seen, you know, Northern people just want to be Southern. You know, oh, the South is so great. You know, you got all your guns, all our guns. But the thing is, I'm like, well, there's a lot of gun owners in the North. You know, Montana's the second largest gun owning state in the nation, I think, which is ridiculous. That's a huge amount. You know, you got Wisconsin, they own a lot of guns too. It's not like the South has all these things that the North don't have. New Hampshire has guns. Everywhere has guns. So I don't understand the idea behind this Southern pride. Like I said, there's so many Northerners just, oh, I want to be Southern pride, and I wish I lived in the South, but there's just, there's not that much different, except sweet iced tea, which is amazing. Um, so I don't know. Maybe it's just it's confusing. I can't fully understand it. I doubt I ever will. But if you guys have your own ideas, I'd love to hear what you think about Southern Pride and Northern Pride. Like I said, if you're from the North, tell me why you are. If you're there's a ton of people just like I'm proud to be Northerner, or you know what you think of Southern Pride. If you're from the South and you know y'all begin talking about what's it like being down from the South and Georgia and Alabama and stuff. Nor West Virginia. West Virginia, yeah, we're like cousins, man. Me, Missouri and West Virginia. Anyways, but yeah, if you're from there, just, you know, leave a comment about Southern Pride. Uh, this is about my time. I've got about a minute left in this video, so I guess I'll start wrapping things up. Like I said, leave a comment down below. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like and favorite. Please subscribe if you really did enjoy it. If you didn't enjoy this video, sorry, I'm trying to enunciate more. I've noticed I haven't been enunciating enough. So if you guys did enjoy this video, you know, tell me why. If you didn't enjoy this video, give me a reason of what I can improve on. That's my goal. I want to make these videos the best they can possibly be. And if you can't tell me anything, that's probably just a hater. That's a good sign of a hater when you refuse to tell me why you hated on something. Anyways, guys, my time is about up here. I hope you guys enjoyed. I go up negative, but, you know, it was one of the few gameplays I could get in such a short time. BioTrashman signing out.